Oh man, is our boy Zack Wheeler messed up right now? The latest news says that he has thoracic outlet syndrome, has gone under the knife, and probably will not be ready for the beginning of next season. So let's get it started right now with this season, David. What do you think the Phillies are going to do without Wheeler? He has been an exceptional playoff performer in his career. Can the Philadelphia Phillies contend for a World Series without Zack Wheeler?
Well, exceptional playoff performer, but in all reality, this year he was an absolute stud, absolute cog in that piece of that rotation. One of the best rotations in all baseball, the third best ERA in all baseball from a starting pitching standpoint. Fourth in WHIP, second in walks per nine, first in strikeouts per nine. I mean, third in home runs per nine. This whole entire rotation was just on cruise control with Zack Wheeler in the driver's seat. It's going to have a lot to do now with Christopher Sanchez. Jesus Luzardo is going to have to step up. Taijuan Walker has been great. Aaron Nola's really been struggling, but then you have Ranger Suarez just behind them, just absolutely dealing. So it's going to have to take all of them stepping up, especially Aaron Nola. This is going to be Aaron Nola's time to shine. He's basically been every time, like his entire career in Philly has been basically with with Zack Wheeler. So now this is his opportunity to have his own time. Do I think the rotation can survive? Absolutely. Do I think it can even thrive? Yes. But when it gets time to playoffs, when it gets time to the lights are on, it's a little bit brighter, this hurts. This really hurts the Phillies. And I'm not going to be one of those guys on MLB Network Radio or MLB like TV. Like you watch them and they're just like, oh, right, raw, Phillies. It's got to hurt. This is your race. This is your dude. This is your man. And he is down now. So this is not a good spot for the Phillies to be in. Obviously, no one wanted this. When they went in, there was a blood clot in his shoulder. And then they went in and then they got that second opinion, third opinion on the thoracic outlet syndrome, which is basically that muscle is pressing down, the rib is pressing into the nerve, and it's causing problems. It is not a great place to be. Might not even be pitching until next year. But this team right now is going to be in a tough spot. I don't know if you're going to see it during the regular season. You're not going to see it really hurt them. But when it comes to playoffs, man, it's going to be a different look. And now, like Christopher Sanchez was never going to be their ace this year. He's pitched like it. Ranger Suarez was never going to be their ace this year. He has pitched like it. Same thing with Taijuan Walker. Now they have to be the aces. And that's a different monster. Now, again, this might be Christopher Sanchez's and Ranger Suarez's opportunity to really step up, and they might step up and finally cement themselves as aces. But you know what? It's a lot easier to pitch like an ace when you already have an ace in front of you, taking that ball every 5 days.
Yeah, and if you're the Phillies, you went into a 7-game series saying, hey, no problem. I've got Zack Wheeler game 1, maybe game 4, and maybe game 7. You can't do that anymore. And you look at Zack Wheeler's career numbers in the playoffs. He has an astounding 2.18 ERA. He's got, dude, listen to his whip. His whip in his playoff career is .725. Who does that? I mean, he's amazing. He could have possibly won the Cy Young this year, but then when you get into the playoffs, he's even better.
Yeah, and it's not like he just had like one playoff series that cemented this or something. This is consistent. He had 35 innings pitched, 27 innings pitched, a 7. Obviously didn't go as far last year as they would have wanted, so only had the 7 innings pitched in the one start. But the numbers are there. The numbers back it up. Like this is a monster loss. And you're not going to see those type of things. Like you can't rely on a Sanchez, Luzardo, Walker, Suarez like you could with a Wheeler. Now, Aaron Nola obviously has a lot more experience in that playoff time. Taijuan Walker has experience. We know that. But it's a lot different when your ace is starting that day 1, game 1, starting the series. You win the NL East, and you're sitting back waiting for a team to come to you, or maybe you're having to play that wild card game. It's a whole nother monster than without Zack Wheeler. I think they can survive. They can make it through this. They can win a series. That offense is just thumping too. Let's not forget about that. Second in average, 10th in home runs, which is kind of crazy with the way that offense is built with Trey Turner and his opportunity for home runs, Schwarber and Harper, even like Real Muto, Castellanos. They have thump in that lineup. They haven't had the type of thump we've seen from them in the past. Schwarber is just destroying it, but the other guys are not. They only have one other guy in the 20s in that ballpark in that NL East, which is kind of crazy because they're used to having big time home run hitters. But second in average, fifth in OBP, fifth in OPS. Ninth in runs, seventh in stolen bases. So they're winning baseball games in a lot of different ways. So now, but when we really want to talk about this, we got to look at that rotation and look at that bullpen. One thing we talked about was how important bullpens are in Major League Baseball for the playoffs. And that bullpen is still 24th in the ERA. I know they had a little, some upgrades at the trade deadline with David Robertson and Duran and bringing them in, which are monster deals, and they have pitched absolutely lights out the way. How David Robertson still hadn't gotten picked up, it's beyond. But Duran was the one of the biggest deals at the trade deadline. Has incredibly solidified that ninth. Duran bringing him in is the exact opposite of, or basically exactly the same, but the opposite of what Zack Wheeler would coming out of a rotation, right? So Duran coming in allows Alvarado, David Robertson, Strom, Kirk, even a Banks guy, to set back and not have to be so stressed out, not having to wait on the world. Even a Jordan Romano can step back and just relax a little bit and pitch. Kind of like the rotation. When you have a Wheeler, the other guys can pitch and don't feel like they have to win every single game and can just pitch. Now without him, that's going to pressure on those guys. It's going to add pressure to the bullpen. We're going to see how the Phillies end up.
The only thing I worry about for the Phillies is if they go on a little bit of a losing streak, they don't have that stopper. And that's what they have in Zack Wheeler. That's what you have when you have a true ace. You have that guy who's going to end those 4, 5, 6 game losing streaks. And now they don't have that. You mentioned Aaron Nola earlier. Very interesting thing happened the other day or last week, something like that. Aaron Nola hit 94 on the gun. It was the first time since April that he got up to 94. So it's a good time for him to be getting his velocity back a little bit.
Yes, that's a very good time. And I didn't know that about the 94, but I don't doubt it. And the way the numbers kind of been going, you're definitely going to have this type of season where you're on that downside. There's no doubt. You don't have a 6.5 ERA without having some numbers being down. That's great for him. Hopefully he can continue that. That would be a perfect time to kind of pick up the velocity juice, and maybe something turns out to be correct.
Now, I want to put aside the Phillies for a second. I want to talk about Zack Wheeler as a human being, as a pitcher. You've played with Zack. I've interviewed Zack. I like Zack. He was a Mets player, so you know that I'm always going to root for him. A little bit happy we don't have to face him potentially in the playoffs, but I certainly don't want to see anybody go down because of injury. However, Zack had said that after his contract is done, which ends after the 2027 season, that he was planning on retiring. He wants to spend more time with the family. He wants to help raise the kids, et cetera, et cetera. There are very few guys who've come back from thoracic outlet syndrome and have been close to what they were, if any. We saw what happened to Johan Santana. We saw what happened to Chris Carpenter, Matt Harvey. It's a death knell sometimes for some of these pitchers. If you're Zack Wheeler right now, how are you, knowing that you've already figured out when you're going to retire and knowing that, hey, now I'm going to have to work my ass off to just get back into playing shape and get my arm into some sort of playing shape to get back in there beginning middle next year, and then all I'm going to pitch is another year and a half, maybe 2 seasons. Is it difficult for a guy like Zack Wheeler when I'm not saying that he's checked out, but he knows when he's going to go, and now he's got to ramp himself up to get back to that point? Is it more difficult?
Is it more difficult? Without a doubt. It's hard, but this also might be, it can go one of two ways. It can go where you start kind of coming back, you're going for it, but you're not fully bought in, right? Because you were already kind of halfway out. Mm-hmm. Or it could go the opposite way, where you completely decide to go out and you're done, there's no point. or might be that fire on his ass. He says, screw this, I got this, I want to come back. Yeah, there haven't had a whole lot of guys that have been able to come back from this and have a lot of success. But there is a list. There have been players. There have been guys that have had had the blood clot and be able to come back. And you know what? If there's someone right now, Major League Baseball, with the ability, it might be him.
I want to compare two players right now because they're both kind of winding down. They've both had similar careers. Who would you have rather had for their entire career? Would you have rather had Jacob deGrom or Zack Wheeler? I know the highs for Jacob deGrom are a lot higher, but the consistency for Wheeler and until now the
I would have had
durability.
Wheeler.
Yeah,
Wheeler.
I think so too.
Yeah, because you know what, like Zack Wheeler at his best was definitely a step down from deGrom, but it wasn't this massive gap. But Zack Wheeler at his worst was a giant, massive gap from deGrom at his worst. And so, like, I would have taken Zack Wheeler in that scenario without a doubt.
What was he like as a teammate?
Great guy, wonderful. Again, that was his rookie year. He had been traded over for the Giants. It was actually kind of funny. I was first round draft pick for the Giants. He was the next first round draft pick as a pitcher by the Giants. So no pitcher had been in the first round by the Giants, sent from me to him, which was kind of cool. Which was actually a very long time in between. And so that was really neat. So we kind of had a connection there. But again, when I played with him, he was a young guy trying to make his mark into Major League Baseball. I was an old guy, had already done that. And so it was always great. He was always wonderful, but he was trying to do his thing, and I get it.
When you were watching him, when you were seeing him on the mound, when you were seeing him, do his work before the game, did you say, this guy's got it, he's an ace?
No.
Really?
Nope. No, because he wasn't.
Okay,
he wasn't. He is an ace right now,
yes.
But he was not an ace at that time. He was just trying to figure it out. He was just trying to figure out like what he was, where he was. You look at the Mets. Yeah, he had some good numbers in that year. 3.4 ERA, but it wasn't like this blowing you out of the water. Amazing. He actually, after he got hurt in 15, came back and didn't have the greatest of numbers in 17. Missed all of 16 as well in the big leagues. But at the time, you didn't see the just domination like he had later in his career. But you also knew he was smart, he was intelligent, he was raw. And let me also say this: it's kind of hard to watch because at the same time you were watching Matt Harvey being a rookie, and right. So you're looking at Matt Harvey, then you're watching Zack Wheeler, and you're like, wow, that's an ace. And you're watching Zack Wheeler, like, this could be a really good pitcher one day. He's raw. He just has to figure it out a little bit. And again, long legs, long arms, and just kind of trying to figure it out with everything, like 100 innings pitched, 46 innings, 46 walks. Like, it wasn't that like consistent, just amazing. He had strikeout stuff, but he also didn't have strikeout, like locked in pitches that were just strikeout pitches yet. He had strikeout stuff and it would hit, but it wasn't like he just walked up there and every 0-2 count was a punch out. He was getting his punch outs, but it's a little bit later on when you see the, like almost, 240 strikeouts during the season, or 86 innings pitched, 81 strikeouts, or 182 and 180. Like, he got better, and it was amazing. He's the exact guy who comes into the league, learns, and gets better and better and better with every single time he steps on the mound.
Well, Zach, if you're watching, we hope that you get better soon. And after your surgery's done, after you rehabbed, if you want to go learn how to pitch again, there's only one place to go. And where's that place, David Aardsma?
Top Velocity Pro. Zach, we will get you back in the same spot you're at, even better. Top Velocity Pro, we take players and just make them the best version of themselves. Absolutely possible. Top Velocity and Top Velocity Pro. Go to topvelocitypro.com. Hit me up on all my socials. I'll do pitching analysis of you. I'll do free video analysis of you. And then let's just have a conversation. Let's make you the best thrower you can ever possibly be.
And we tried to give that opportunity to his former teammate, Noah Syndergaard. He didn't take us up on it. And where is he now?
Watching this
Nowhere.
video.
0.0 innings in the major leagues this year.